Once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom, there lived a kind and humble water carrier named Shankar. He was loved by everyone in the village because of his cheerful nature and willingness to help others. Every day, he carried water from the river to the homes of the people, always greeting them with a warm smile and a kind word. His happiness was contagious, and people admired his contentment despite his simple life. One day, word of Shankar's kindness and dedication reached the king. Curious about this beloved water carrier, the king sent his minister to summon him to the palace. When Shankar arrived, the king said, "I have heard of your good nature and hard work. From today, you shall serve in my palace, bringing water for me and my guests." Overjoyed, Shankar rushed home to tell his wife the good news. He put on his best clothes and returned to the palace, eager to begin his new job. As days passed, his cheerful spirit and storytelling skills made him a favorite among the king's guests. Even the king himself grew fond of Shankar's presence, often calling him to share amusing tales and lighten his mood. However, not everyone was pleased with Shankar's rising status. The minister, who had once been the king's most trusted companion, grew jealous. He could not bear to see a mere water carrier winning the king's favor. Determined to remove Shankar from the palace, he devised a wicked plan. One evening, the minister visited Shankar at his home and whispered, "Shankar, I must tell you something important. The king has been complaining about the bad smell of your breath. He does not want to embarrass you, but he finds it unbearable." Shankar's face fell with embarrassment. "Oh no. What should I do?" he asked worriedly. The minister pretended to be sympathetic and suggested, "To avoid offending the king, wear a mask over your mouth whenever you are in his presence." Trusting the minister's advice, Shankar followed his suggestion. The next day, he entered the palace with a mask covering his face. The king was surprised, but did not comment. Days passed, and Shankar continued wearing the mask, never once questioning the minister's words. After a while, the king grew curious and asked the minister, "Why is Shankar always wearing a mask?" Seizing the opportunity, the minister smirked and replied, "My lord, I asked Shankar the same thing. He told me that he wears it because he finds your breath unpleasant." The king's face darkened with anger. He felt betrayed by someone he had grown so fond of. Without further thought, he ordered, "Call the executioner. Stand by the palace gate, and when you see a man leave carrying a bouquet of roses, cut off his head immediately." The next day, Shankar arrived as usual, wearing his mask and serving the guests with his usual grace. Pleased with his service, the king handed him a bouquet of roses as a reward. Shankar bowed respectfully and left the king's chamber. As he stepped out, the minister, curious about the gift, stopped him and asked, "Who gave you these roses?" "The king," Shankar replied with a smile. "He wanted